This chart is put out by the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And the red line here represents worst case scenario, climate scientist worst nightmare, and a growth, high growth with high fossil fuel consumption, high CO2 output. The moderate growth would represent the green line here, but would still represent heavy use on fossil fuels, but more investment in renewables.
Okay. Our blue line is a low growth approach. It is pretty much drastic changes in our economic growth. So basically, putting taxes on big companies so they lessen their output into the environment, and pretty much putting more money into our renewable energy. Then the bottom line is a constant CO2, and it's not congruent with the increasing population and our increasing economic structure.
This chart right here is an economic growth chart put out by Goldman Sachs. Currently, the US economy is sitting at 16 trillion. By the end of 2 decades, we're looking at approaching $30 trillion economy. And China eclipsing us, approaching a $40 trillion economy. Russia, Brazil, India, China becoming totaling more than $60 trillion. And
basically this chart is pretty much congruent with our do nothing approach.
On track with the do nothing approach, we're looking at limits that look pretty hard to imagine what the global will look like. $70 trillion for China, a $40 trillion for a US economy, and India, well over a $30 trillion economy. So we are currently on track for a worst case scenario. More awareness needs to be made on what worst case scenario means for climate change, and there has to be more heavily involvement in investment in renewable energies.